Oh.
Oh, sorry, did I shock you?
You sure did. Bit.
Anita Sarkeesian Illuminati confirmed.
Hello everyone, this is Champion 90. Ugh! Damn it, I can't see a thing in this.
For years, Feminist Frequency has created videos that examine what too often goes unexamined, the way women are portrayed in media, and how that both reflects and shapes our ideas about women in real life. Doing this work, I've often heard people say it's unrealistic or historically inaccurate to have female characters in media that are more than just passive sidekicks or eye candy. But history itself tells a very different story.
Yes, people, this month Anita Sarkeesian has announced that she is now making a new video series. Yeah, never mind the fact that she said that she was just getting really tired and was oh so depressed about making these video series. Apparently now she's taken her meds, or has magically just become happy again, and has decided to make a new one based on history. Women in history, the women that were forgotten or something about history. Yeah, let's see her carry on, shall we?
Although you may not have heard of them, the past was full of women who were rebels. Anarchists, undercover reporters, technological geniuses, and even fearsome pirates.
Yeah, we all know about these people because they were recorded through history, because their deeds were deemed relevant to human history. In fact, I know of these pirates that you may be referring to. These people were not forgotten, just because a lot of people in the world, the vast majority, aren't very good at history, you amongst them, of course, don't know a lot about these women, doesn't mean that these women have been forgotten, or that the patriarchy is trying to remove them. But the thing is, people, it's not just the subject that is going to irk me, because, you know me, I've got a degree in history. It's what she wants in order to create this bloody video series. Because she only wants to raise $200,000! $200,000 within, I think, 30 days. All to make a couple of videos about women in history. At least 2 or 3 most people would have heard about. And we'll get to them in just a little while longer. But please, $200,000. This is the same woman who asked for $6,000 to make 5 videos, and she only made 2. She promised to make all those videos in 6 months, and it took her 3 years to make 2. And now she's finishing it all off by making, shorter videos at about 10 minutes long or something. And even then, she might not finish all them, because now she's got to do all this. So far, she's raised 15%, which is about $30,668 as of the 12th of March. 2016. Please don't waste your money on this. Please.
So this Women's History Month, we're embarking on a new project to set the record straight. A video series devoted to women throughout history who defied the stereotypes and lived remarkable lives. Although each of them is extraordinary, they can help us reimagine the world as a place where women doing revolutionary things isn't incredible at all. It's just normal. That's why we call them ordinary women daring to defy history.
Oh yeah, because most of these people are totally not known by all the cultures from which they come from and the countries in which they came from, and they're totally not written in history books, totally, you know? Yeah, because these are ordinary women. Ordinary women, yeah. They're all ordinary, hence why they do these amazing things.
Well, you may not have learned about them in history books.
I'm pretty sure they are in history books, Anita, because otherwise they would not have been recorded, so people could not write about them and put them on Google Doodles. In the case of one of these women, their achievements would not be recorded and talked about. I'm pretty sure most people haven't heard of them because they don't read history books and that they're not taught history, or at least proper history, or they just can't be asked. I'm just wondering, Anita, I'm just wondering.
We hope that by the time Women's History Month rolls around again next year, you'll know each and every one of them by name.
Oh yeah, she's totally going to make all of this in a year, definitely.
Jing Shi started out working in a brothel and ended up as the feared commander of one of the largest pirate fleets in history.
Yeah, you see, when you come from a Western culture and you have your own history, although in America you don't really have much of one, to be fair. Yeah, sorry guys. I doubt they'll be learning about this woman because she's just not relevant to your history. She really isn't. It's like, how would I know about some hero in an African tribe? How would I know about them? This historical figure that saved a town, conquered an empire, unless I wanted to look at that said empire, but whatever. How would I know about this woman? I've only ever just learned about her very recently, in fact. They're in history books, just not American history books.
Ida B. Wells was born a slave but became a daring investigative reporter who exposed the horrors of lynching after the Civil War.
You see, so far you've not really shown an ordinary woman because she was very rich and powerful who was a pirate, and now you've shown someone who was ordinary and became something. So you've lost one, but you've gained one so far. Well done, well done. You see, most people would have heard of her if they've looked into anything about slavery and the Reconstruction era, especially since she would actually be in your history books and in your curriculum because she's relevant to the history. Well done, Anita. Well done.
Murasaki Shikibu lived at a time when women's names were rarely even written down, but it didn't stop her from writing the first modern novel.
Considering the ancient Greeks, Romans, and loads of other cultures have already beaten her to it, I'm gonna call bullshit on that.
Emma Goldman's radical ideas about gender and individual freedom got her kicked out of at least 3 countries and labeled one of the most dangerous women in America.
Notice how all these women are in the history books, and at least 3 of them so far have not been ordinary working class girls at all, but quite rich women capable of being able to go to these schools and learn to read and write and get themselves a little bit of history making and being put on history books. So far, Emma Goldman, we've had Shimchi, forgot her name, and the Japanese storyteller. Not a novelist, by the way, she's a storyteller. All these women are not ordinary women, they're rich women. But the only one person who was an ordinary woman who became something. But, oh well, whatever. We've got to carry on. We'll ignore these women's privilege because they totally don't have any privilege whatsoever.
And Ada Lovelace's doctor said her feminine mind was too weak and fragile to handle advanced math. She ignored him and wrote the world's first computer program.
Technically wasn't a computer program, and the ancient Greeks had already beaten her to it, as well as other people within that same time period. So, no. Notice again, not an ordinary woman, a posh, upper-class woman who could read and write and did all these things, went to university. If she was a factory worker from Manchester during that period, I doubt she'd be able to do this. Plus, she already had a Google Doodle in her honour only a couple months ago in 2015, so I'd highly doubt anybody's not heard of her. Most people have heard of Ada Lovelace.
Each episode will focus on one of these women and feature gorgeous original animation with a style inspired by both the person and the time period when she lived. Although their stories take place everywhere from 10th century Japan to the Reconstruction era of the American South, you may be surprised at how relevant many of their struggles are to women today.
Yeah, because women from the 10th century and women from the 19th century totally suffered the same problems that women do in the 21st century. Yeah, well done, Anita, well done. And I can see how it could totally cost $200,000 because that animation definitely looks like it needs $200,000 to make. I've seen better made on less.
We think the stories in Ordinary Women will be entertaining and inspirational to a lot of people, and not just because these women were brilliant.
And it's totally not another money-making scheme to peddle off the history community because the gaming community kicked you out laughing.
Each of them was surrounded by cultural messages that said women had to be small, quiet, and submissive in order to be good.
Yeah, because that's totally a nuanced look at how people viewed women back in the day, even though there's completely different time periods and cultures too, so oh yeah, totally nuanced, Anita, totally nuanced. You deserve an A in history for that.
But they spoke up for themselves, often at the cost of harassment, slander, racism, and even death threats.
Yeah, and that's totally what you're getting right now, Anita. You're totally comparable to these women who definitely would have faced such hardships back in the day because they were going against the grain. Or were they necessarily going against the grain? I don't know. But you certainly are definitely going against the grain as a poor, oppressed woman from the first world in the 21st century. Their experiences are definitely similar to yours. Definitely.
In a world that was designed to silence and diminish them, they had to be more than just talented. They had to be defiant.
Considering a lot of them were published authors and journalists, I highly doubt the world was trying to silence them. Clearly, they were good enough to be published, therefore they were published.
We've already invested $20,000 and a lot of effort from our team to lay the groundwork for the first season of Ordinary Women, but we need your help to make this series a reality.
So you've already invested enough money to make those videos anyway, but you just need a little bit more money because it seems the tax man is on the horizon, considering your little company might not be what it seems to be. Eh, Anita?
One of the most rewarding things about my work with Feminist Frequency has been watching an incredible community of supporters spring up to show how much they care. About me, about the work we do, and about improving how women are treated in our culture at large.
Yeah, only when you tell them that you're being harassed do they come up, don their armour and steeds, and go out and save the day for you. Apart from that, they don't really do much. They just kind of slowly dwindle away as you become more and more irrelevant as time goes by, Anita. Truly, they are such a caring community. They're such loyal fans, Anita.
We hope you'll join that community and help us bring these stories to life in a way that celebrates not just the potential of women, but the incredible things we've already accomplished despite the barriers trying to hold us back. These women's stories have moved us, inspired us, and resonated with our own lives in ways that we never expected, and we can't wait to share them with you.
Just can't wait to steal all your money and jet off around the world being a celebrity. Yeah.
Well, Anita, I'm just, really happy to see that you're putting the money to good use that you made and earned respectfully off of us. And I, for one, look forward to debunking your terrible historical facts.
Yeah. yeah, that would be me. Great.
It's all just a game to you, Anita, isn't it? It really is just one big joke. Well, people, that is just the outtake of a con artist. And until next time, I'll see you all later.